Okay, I don't want to speak too soon, but I think I have started the stream on time at 7 o'clock, exactly when I advertised it to go live for, and I haven't had any technical issues getting this thing set up. So I knocked on wood there. I think it was like synthetic wood or something. But let's get right into the movie spreadsheets live session. This is going to be the Streaming Wars wrapping up movie number 2. So I'm really excited for this one because I watched a lot of movies this week to finish off week number 2. So get basically 6 movies in. So we're done. We can talk about the movies that are I saw how it ranks, and I can update the spreadsheet and figure out where everything is after movie number 2, which is fantastic. So let's go. Let's talk about some movies. Let's just quickly talk about the first big thing. So like, welcome, pumped that you're here. Status of the spreadsheet. Well, let's jump over to the movie spreadsheets main page, which you can see right here on the screen. And what we're going to see here is we see the average is at a 5.932. So we're still below that 6.0 mark, which is so critical for me to be at. Top third cutoff 7.45, which is the movie Napoleon. And I honestly might have to watch Napoleon director's cut because like Apple TV is just not putting out movies, and we've got another couple weeks till F1 comes out on Apple TV. So middle third cutoff. So this is where kind of separates the movies that are like, okay, I would generally recommend watching, and then the movies below that I really want it. 4.775. So a lot of movies fall in that middle section. And then just remember one more time, if you're thinking about movie ratings as being like the traditional like classroom scores, that's not the best way to look at it, because a 10, yes, is an A 9. Sorry, let's just start from the bottom. 0 is awful. It's the worst. We don't want that. 1, 2, and 3 are bad, and then different levels of being bad as 1, 2, 3. Like 1 is really bad. 2 is like it's just bad, and 3 is like it's bad, but like it's almost okay. 4, 5, and 6 is okay. Same scale. 4 is low okay. 5 is like okay, and 6 is like high okay. And then 7, 8, and 9 is good. 7 being like it's low good, but it's good. 8's like it's solid good, and then 9 being like it's really good. So that's how it breaks down. So when you see these averages, generally speaking, like the middle third cutoff is like solid okay to, yeah. So that's where we are for the spreadsheet. Quick couple notes too. Anything that you see in like pink up here, so I can see it right here as a pink, I've done a review for, so you can click on that and watch it. A lot of times it'll be a short. I'm trying to do more shorts because I think that's more my style. And then over here on the right, where we can see the template says the movie spreadsheet, movie thoughts. This is where you can like read how I break down each movie, and I do that for every single movie too. So a lot of good stuff on the spreadsheet, and the spreadsheet is linked in the description of my YouTube channel. It's also linked like pretty much everywhere, so you can find this one. I had somebody comment like, share this with me, and I responded with a shared copy of the spreadsheet. So if you want a copy of it, comment, and I will gladly share this one with you so that you can have access to it. Just post the link for it. All right, so that wraps up the introduction. We have our current standings right here. They're going to be updated. So we see them on the right. We have Apple TV in first, followed by Amazon Prime, followed by Netflix, Hulu. Then what do we got there? We got Disney, Peacock, Stars, HBO Max, and Paramount. So those are the places that they're in. I just realized on the graphic I got a bunch of 5s, and that's not accurate at all. Anyways, that's where the movies are right now. And then after today, we'll have a new standing, we'll have a new order, and then we'll have to figure out what movies I'm going to watch now. And it's getting kind of tough to choose some movies. I definitely have some thoughts about some of these streaming services. So let's talk about some changes that I've made to the spreadsheet. The first big change that I've made is you can see like I've definitely expanded what it looks like to include bonus points. Now, I talked about bonus points last time as like, what are those things that make me want to watch a movie, or like think about a movie, or that make movies stand out. So I've added a bunch of bonus points. I'm going to read them off to you. And again, these don't affect the overall score. So if you have the best movie of the week, say it's like an 8.5 or whatever it is, and you take first, you get 25 points. Like that's what you get for that week. The bonus points get added to that 25 points. It doesn't get added to that 8.5. So like the bonus points don't affect its place in the ranking, but it does affect its overall points, simply because like I have to do something a little bit more fun to make some of these movies a little bit more interesting. So let's talk about these bonus points. The first one we have is pole position. So this is 5 points. If you are the first pick of the week and your movie ends up being the best movie, it's a really hard thing to do, you'll pick up 5 additional bonus points. So nobody's done that yet. Fastest lap, shortest film of the week, so 2 points. Only one person gets that. Best moment, best movie moment from a movie that week, 2 points. Only one film gets that. And then we have notable song. I don't know why this is in here. Actually, I do. I love when I'm watching movies and they play a song and I'm just like, yes, what a great song. And yeah, this has happened for a bunch of movies recently, but Watch the Skies is definitely going to pick up a point because like I definitely love Forever Young and Alphaville and they play that. So cool song, gets a point there. Best laugh, anything that happened that was like funny that I chuckled at, you'll get 2 points for that. Plot twist, I'm gonna give 2 points per movie. So if you have like a cool little like twist, something that I didn't see coming, not necessarily a plot twist, 2 points. Driver of the day, there's that little F1 lean. This is the best performance by an actor or actress, so that's 3 points. Emotional impact, is this a movie that I'm gonna think about? And then finally, is this movie a hidden gem? You know what I hate is when you are, you're on the internet and you're trying to figure out what to watch and you're searching like best movies you've never seen. And then people are like Fight Club, Kill Bill. And you're like, who hasn't seen Fight Club? Who hasn't seen Kill Bill? So hidden gems, or maybe those movies are going to be a little bit harder to find. Maybe you take a risk you take a risk. I take a risk with a pick and it ends up paying off. That's going to be that hidden gem. So those are the bonus points. So remember the movie spreadsheet overall score, which is found on this first tab. This is what separates the movies each week, and then the bonus points get added to this overall score. It doesn't really impact their standings for the week. It's just bonus points for the overall standings in the streaming cup. All right, now the thing I touched about last week, I loosely floated the idea of having like a freshness multiplier. Well, I'm absolutely having a freshness multiplier because some of these streaming services are just not putting out movies fast enough. And a lot of the movies that they're like putting out as new movies are actually really old, like 2024, 2023, or they're just really stretching out the time in between new releases. Apple TV, I'm absolutely looking at you for this one. Right, you released The Last Bus, which was really good. I think it won the week last week. And then Charlie Brown's like Great Pumpkin, and like, okay, I get it, you put it out there, but that doesn't really cost you anything. It didn't really do anything, and I'm obviously not going to watch that and review that. And what you're trying to do is just buy time until F1 releases, I think December 6th. So another 3 or 4 weeks before that one comes out. Are we going to get an Apple TV movie before that? Okay, so the freshness ratings, here's how this works. Basically, if your movie is within 14 days of its release, if that's when I watched it, it's worth a full point. Like, so I don't take down your score at all. And again, this doesn't affect like your overall rating for the movie spreadsheet. It's just your rating for the Streaming Wars. If your movie is 20 days old, it drops down to 0.97. So a little multiplier. 24 days old, 0.94. 30 days old, 0.90, and then if it's greater than 30 days old, it's going to be 0.85. So there's going to be a pretty significant penalty to your points that you take from week to week, not your movie spreadsheet score, and that can affect like your placing and all that good stuff. So that's the freshness multiplier. This week's spreadsheet doesn't look amazing because I had some issues with formulas. Next week, so it'll look a little bit better as I try to enlist like my wife to like look at my spreadsheet and try to figure out if like what I'm doing is working. But let's go ahead and get into that first big movie. And last time I talked about All of You, which I thought was kind of really disappointing from Apple TV. I talked about it having like not just like too much banter and not enough plot. I talked about Watch the Skies. And Ballad of a Small Player. Let's start this off, and I'm going to try to switch over to a new screen here. Let's start this off with Sovereign. Let's see how that works. Oh, I'm going big screen now. Okay. So Sovereign's right here. You'll have to ignore the spreadsheet, the overall scores. Actually, I'm going to do this. I'm just going to drag this out a little bit. Bam, there we go. Now look. What I did with Sovereign, this is a movie that overall score 9.25. This movie is so good. So what I did with Sovereign was I made sure to make my own poster. This is a movie that, like, my strongest warning for, if you can know very little about this movie going into this movie, I think this movie would just be like it's an absolute masterpiece. Like, because so much of it is given away. I didn't see the trailer. So much is given away in the description of it, and so much is given away in the poster. So I made this poster, which, yes, it looks awful, but largely you have no idea what's going on in this poster. This movie was really, really, really good. It caught me off guard. So we might as well do. Here's what we'll do. We'll do all the bonus points for it right now. Actually, we'll talk about the movies and we'll go back and do bonus points and we'll see how that all plays out. But this movie was really good. It's really worth your time. It is not an easy watch. It's not light. It's about the sovereign citizen movement, and Nick Offerman is just incredible. Like, what a great actor this guy is, and he was really good in this movie. That's all I'm really going to tell you about it, because this is one where I would say you need to watch it. It's really good. You're going to be on your computer or on your phone looking up stuff about this movement after you watch this movie. That's all I'm going to say about it. I really don't want to spoil anything, but I can go through those rankings real quick. So entertainment score was a 9, achievement a goal. It tells a story about this father and the son and the sovereign citizen movement. Ending 10 out of 10, and then length 10 out of 10. I mean, again, anytime a movie gets right into it, I'm hooked. And it's one of those movies where you're like, oh no, like I think I can kind of see what's coming. And then it just gets you. So really good. Number 26 overall in the spreadsheet. So this is a movie where I would highly recommend watching. It's not an easy watch. So that's all I'll say about Sovereign. And then we can see how it ends up rating for the week. So I'm gonna bounce back over to my Sunday live spreadsheet, and we can see how Sovereign ends up doing. So Sovereign was 136.14. So it just misses the shortest movie by like less than a minute. And again, I am very precise with it. So we have a 9.25, and it ended up being the best movie that I saw this week. So, 25 points for Hulu. So we add that 25 points plus the 12 points from Hulu last week. Ends up, Hulu at a 37 plus whatever bonus points is going to pick up. Might mean Hulu goes first in the next round, which would be horrible for Hulu. So that is Sovereign. Let's talk about Fantastic Four now. Here I am, big screen again. Let me drag and make this bigger to cover up that inaccuracy. Okay. Fantastic Four. Weird one for me, because I wasn't really feeling the casting decision for this movie. It kind of felt like maybe the characters were a little bit older than they should have been. And I'm not sure if it's just the way that it was shot, or if it was the fact that the Fantastic Fours from the early 2000s, like pre-Marvel MCU, were younger. It was just a much older. And I was like a little taken aback by how old they were supposed to be, by how old they were. Other than that, and that's why there's why that was that 1 point penalty there, is because I thought about it enough times where it was distracting. And it's one of those things where if it's something that I'm seeing over and over again, it's making me think about, then I need to take a point away from her, or it needs to be penalized. Length was really good. So length of Fantastic Four was 1 hour and 43 minutes. Yes, I love these Marvel movies staying under that 2-hour mark. And then we have an ending of 7. It's your typical superhero movie. Like it's good, and it's like fine. It's like low good 7. Achievement, a goal. Yeah, this is definitely a group of people I want to watch more of. I also really like how they tone down. Who is it, Mr. Fantastic or Captain Fantastic or whatever his name is? Like everybody knows the stretchy thing is dumb, right? Like everybody knows like a lot of their powers, like some of their powers aren't the coolest, but they made him really smart, and they portrayed him in a way that I found really relatable, which was really cool, even though he's a superhero. The Silver Surfer, absolutely shredding through the lava. Amazing. Just so cool. The scene, she's like getting barreled at one point. She's like dragging the right hand. It was just, yes, it was very, very cool. And entertainment, 9 out of 10. I was just thoroughly entertained with this movie, making this movie an 8.55 overall and number 61 on the spreadsheet. And then you can obviously see let's see, it was like right here. Yeah, there it is. Right there. You can see like the short I made for this movie, but I just talked about everything in a much better way. So that's Fantastic Four. I would definitely recommend this movie if you're into Marvel at all, or like this is a good like standalone movie. There's a good like after credit scene too. So that's that's what I got for Fantastic Four for the review of it. Let's look at its overall score for the week. So 8.55 makes it the second highest score of the week, giving it 18 points. So we're going to add that 18 points from Disney to the 10 points it had last week, and which ends up being 28 points. Pre-bonuses. So I think you know what I should be doing. Let me go back to here, Sunday Live. Let's go ahead and do, since we talked about Sovereign first, let's go ahead and copy down Sovereign. So let's go ahead and go service right here. So we've got Hulu. And we know Hulu's going to have, well, I guess I shouldn't have done that yet. Yeah, we're not going to do that yet. Because we got to see how the bonus points are going to shake up. All right, so that's Fantastic Four. Now let's go to Jurassic World Rebirth. And ignore that through 410. Do you know this is the 7th Jurassic Park movie? Like, do we need 7 Jurassic Park movies? And like every time that we have a Jurassic Park movie come out, I'm always like, is this a movie that we need? Like, why am I even watching this? And then I watch it and I end up being like, dinosaurs. Like I really like dinosaurs. I'm really into dinosaurs. And I end up kind of enjoying the movie. And that's really what happened with this one. I was thought to myself, like, come on, this was stupid. Like the last Jurassic Park wasn't very good. But this one felt like, the note I took about this movie is this movie felt a lot like Kong Skull Island. I love that we're leaving the real world and we're going to some island where all the dinosaurs are. That's such a better plot line than dinosaurs in New York City or in Europe or whatever the crap of the last 2 Jurassic Worlds or whatever they are, parks, whatever you want to call them, were. So let's talk about those overall scores. I don't have a short out for this one yet, but there will be one soon. So 7.25 overall. Length 10, 2 hours and 4 minutes. You're like, well, what 10, 2 hours and 4 minutes? It's because I didn't feel it. Like it was the appropriate length. The way they set up the plot was so smart. It was so wise. I just love how the movie naturally moved because of the way they structured the story. So it was really solid on all fronts. Achievement of goal, score 7. My big knock for this one is like, there are so many dinosaurs out there that people don't know about that are terrifying. We don't need to create new mutations of dinosaurs that never existed to make this movie seem even cooler. And in all honesty, like it had so little to do with the actual plot of the movie. So I would say no for this one in terms of the achievement of goal not being great. It's a 7, so it's still good. But we don't need make-believe dinosaurs. Like, dinosaurs are cool enough as they are. Entertainment, yeah, 8 out of 10. Like when the movie starts to get a little stale, you're like, okay, it moves. It does something else. So awesome. Big fan of it. Overall score 7.25 and number 147 on the spreadsheet. So what's crazy about this movie is we've already done 3 movies this week. So in the 4 spot, in the 5 spot, and in the 6 spot, we've already done 3 movies this week that would have won last week in terms of movies. So the movies were way better this week, which is fantastic, at least from this middle section. Okay. And so that takes Jurassic Park to number 3 for the week and picking up 15 points. So Peacock had 8 points last week, plus another 15 is going to give it 23. And then we're going to add bonuses to it. And we're going to see how that's going to play all out. Okay. Let's talk about movie number 7, which is Ballerina. And I do not have an image for that. So we're just going to go back to here, have a sip of water. I'm a little bit puzzled by Stars. I don't quite understand what Stars is trying to do with its movies other than just exist. We had a Flight Risk last week, which was not very good. We had Ballerina this week, which I watched because it's part of the John Wick universe and John Wick's in it, which is like, hell yeah, John Wick's in this movie. But the problem with it is like, this movie's really old. Like this movie came out, when's the release date for this movie? September 25th. So almost 2 months ago. There's just not a lot of like good movies. Stars gets kind of like those older movies. Stars is like a place when I was teaching history through film. There was a lot of historical movies that I wanted to see that ended up on Stars that came out like in the mid 2000s. So good place for older movies, not a good place for new movies so far. Maybe they'll get something good, but even though it's the cheapest streaming service by far, it's still just not getting the best movie selection really at all. So let's talk about Ballerina though. The first thing I was really nervous about was the length. Like you hear John Wick, you hear from the universe of John Wick, and you're like, okay, this movie's got to be an hour and 30 minutes. And the fact that it's not John Wick, it's like somebody else, right? It's this ballerina girl. Like this movie needs to be hour 25 minutes. Like let's get in, let's get out, let's have some cool fight scenes, let's get it over with. We know how it's gonna end, and like it kind of does. It's just there's so many unmemorable fight scenes in this movie that you're like kind of just like, what is going on? Why are we not making this movie shorter and having more memorable fight scenes? There is one really, really cool scene that has to do with there's like a flamethrower fight where they're like shooting flamethrowers at each other. Like they're like bullets in a gun. And it's just like, they're like, and flame shoots off and they dive out of the way and the other person does it. And it's like, you just want to like leave your flame on and just like keep nuking it so the person doesn't have a chance to pop up. But that part was cool. And the way that fight ends was really cool too. So a couple really cool fight scenes. I have to note this. I thought it was so awesome. The lady who runs, Ballerina's essentially like clan or house or whatever it's called. She's got a sweet portrait. She's got a really sweet office, and the portrait in her background is Caravaggio, which is just such a perfect fitting classic painting or classic artist for like the work that she was doing. So I thought it was a really cool attention to detail. I'm gonna try to figure out a way to get that a bonus point on there. But Ballerina overall score 5.65. And then this is where it kind of gets hurt a little bit because we have that freshness multiplier 0.85, which is going to hurt it. But it ends up being the sixth best movie of the week, and it's going to pick up 8 points. So, we have Stars picking up 6 points last week, 8 points this week. Stars, I think, is just going to be happy to beat some of these other streaming services in the middle. Who knows? We'll see. That's the whole reason why I'm doing this. Okay, let's talk about weapons now, which I do have a graphic for. Boom. That's not it. That's it. Now look, the first thing about weapons, let's get right into this one. The first thing about weapons that you're really going to notice is the barbarian at the top of the poster. Barbarian is such a good horror movie. It's on my movie spreadsheet really, really highly. I'm going to find the exact spot for you. Number 15 overall, 9.45. And because you're connected to Barbarian, I'm expecting weapons. Like you're going to be compared against Barbarian, which is tough, right? It's like the same thing with the director of The Witch. Like every movie I see from him, I'm like, okay, it's got to be as good as The Witch, which it never is, which is unfair to compare it to, but like that's the bar. Weapons, the big problem for me with weapons was one, it's told in a way of multiple stories, which is totally cool. I'm a big fan of the multiple stories for the movie. Like, hey, it's this person's point of view. Then we'll cut to this person and it pieces together the entire movie. But the main person who is driving everything, we don't get their backstory. Like we don't know why they are and how they're able to do what they do. Like that's not the backstory. We don't get that one. We get everybody else's. And then you know how it is. Sometimes when you're like, is it going to be one of those movies where we tell a story and then we got to go back in time and tell somebody else's story from that same point? But then they go back like a little bit before it, and then it kind of links up, and you're like, I don't want to hear the same story more than once, and they don't. But that's just like the big fear for this one. Okay. Entertainment, 8 out of 10. Like because of the way they tell those like multiple stories, those parts, it makes it exciting. Achievement goal 6, scary. Like on the lower side. Ending 4. I saw this one in the theater. I went back and rewatched it. My problem with the ending is it doesn't explain enough, which is going to automatically lose it points. If I have more questions than I had when I started the movie at the end, no good for me. And 2 was like, it was like humorous. Like we have a movie that's not funny, like at all. And then the ending is just like shot in a way that's funny. I saw it in the theater, people were laughing, and it put me off to it. I was like, oh, why? Length, a little bit long, and then no penalty here. So Weapons is going to end up with a overall place on the streaming grid of a 6.65 and number 5. So again, a 6.65 last week would have been number 3. This week is number 5. So it just shows you how much better the week is getting. And then finally, let's get to Vicious. Yeah, let's get to Vicious. We'll go Vicious first. Wow. This movie sucked. Like on a bunch of different fronts. Ranking 394. 1.3. It's short, but it's like, this movie trying to be like The Box, like with like Cameron Diaz. I don't even know what was going on. I was just like, what is this movie? This is one of those like pre-Halloween dumps. It was released, 10/10 in October on Paramount, and this is like the one I was deciding to not watch or watch instead of what was it, The Naked Gun? I mean, The Naked Gun was better than this movie, and I hated The Naked Gun. Naked Gun friggin' sucked. But so that's where we're at right now for Paramount. And let me tell you, Paramount pisses me off because they funnel so much stuff into Showtime. You have to buy Showtime as an add-on. So it's like every now and then you'll get a big movie on Paramount, but most of their movies go to Showtime, but they don't have enough good movies on Showtime to warrant that extra $5. But also, I shouldn't have to pay an extra $5 for your premium movies. It makes no sense to me. Who else does that? Like, who else has like a special section of their movie? Nobody else. Paramount. This is a terrible policy. It's a policy that should not exist. Anyways, Vicious, it sucked. I would not recommend this one. Worst movie of the week by far. Not by far. We had All of You and Watch the Sky. So the week started out really bad, and then it just took off. Really good note. So number 9 overall, 2 points. So let's go back to the spreadsheet so we can see what's going on. We can go through, look at those bonuses. We can watch this formula absolutely completely crumble. You guys can watch me do some horrible math, plot out the spreadsheet, and then we'll try to figure out where each of these are going to end up, and that's where we're going to go. So let's just go right through, and let's just knock the first one out real quick, which is the shortest movie. So 1:35:37 is the shortest movie for Vicious. So let's go give fastest lap. Let's see if the points change. It does to 4. So we know that Paramount is in. Let's be honest. Paramount's going to be way down here. Paramount's in with a 4 points for the week. This is not going to be a movie I think about. There's no emotional impact on it. There's no other bonus points for this one. There's no plot twist. There's no best laugh. No notable song. Nothing. So Paramount, after 2 weeks, is going to have 4 points from this week. That includes a bonus. And last week, it picked up a single point for having the... it picked up a single point. Wait, why does it shouldn't have a bonus point? Vicious was the worst movie of the week, so it should have 0 week points, not 2. So we have 0 plus 2 now for that pole position, that shortest place. Means that we're going to end up having 3 points on the season for Paramount, which is atrocious. Okay, so we got Paramount done. We have Vicious done. Let's now look at... Let's do... what else is going to be pretty low? Let's do HBO next. So HBO, we're going to have... Actually, we should go through and do bonus points this one. Okay, so we got... Fastest lap. Okay, weapons. We're going to give... Not best moment, no notable song. Best laugh, no plot twist, no... Best performance, no. Emotional impact, no. Hidden gem, no. So no bonus points for that. 5th place is worth 10. So HBO. And we can readjust these when we need to. HBO is going to be worth... HBO is going to be worth... make sure I can get this in a spot where you can see it. There we go. So HBO picking up 10 points this week. Plus 4 points last week, putting at 14 points. Okay, next up we'll do stars. All right, and let's look at stars for ballerina. Okay, pole position, no. Fastest lap, no. Best moment, maybe. The flamethrower fight. The flamethrower fight was pretty freaking cool, if I'm going to be honest with you for this one. Was that the best moment? Yeah. Long time hesitating there. Best moment. 2 points plus the place it got 6, so 8. Makes it a 10 overall for the week. That's correct. Plus then last week 6 starts at 16 points, which is like, look, here's what's crazy. HBO is a premium movie streaming service, and it's losing to Stars right now. Now, do I think that's going to hold? No, but it's holding right now. Let's do Peacock next. Bringing in that Peacock. All right. Let's look at bonus points for Jurassic Park. Not best moment. No notable song. No best laugh. No plot twist. Best performance? Absolutely not. Emotional impact? No. Hidden gem? No. No. All right, so Peacock's ended up with no bonus points there. So 15 points for that third place this week. Plus the 8 points from last week. 23 points. So I'm going honestly straight up from the previous week, and it looks like we're holding a pretty strong line between these points. Let's go to Disney Plus now. All right, let's look at Fantastic Four. Best moment? No. Notable song? No. Best laugh? No. Plot twist? No. Driver of the day? No. Emotional impact, hidden gem? Nope. Okay. So Fantastic Four is going to end up with 18 points this week, plus then the 10 points from last week, 28 points. Okay, this one's going to end up getting bumped up. Hulu. All right. Notable song? No. Best laugh? No. Plot twist? No. Driver of the day? Yes. So we gave it a point there. Emotional impact? Yes. Oh, validation error. So we're going to give it that one too. Hidden gem? Oh, yes. We're going to give it that one too, even though it's not going to pop up. It's okay. Oh, no. So we're going to make sure we get those points in. Hidden gem 1, emotional impact 1, driver of the day 3. So it's 5 bonus points getting added to the movie. So who's going to pick up 30? So 30 plus that 12 is going to be 42. Who's going to take the lead here? That's a huge number. Netflix. You hear my S there? It was like crazy. It was like sss. All right, so Netflix is going to end up with Ballad of a Small Player. We're going to go with a plot twist here. Yeah, we're going to go plot twist for that one. I'm going to go hidden gem on this one too. I think it's a small enough movie to be a hidden gem. So we're going to give it a 1 on that one as well. So we're going to go 14 plus that 1 for hidden gem. It's going to give it 15 points for the week. Plus the 15 points from last week. It's going to be 30. We got 2 more left, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, let's go ahead and do prime. Then we'll rearrange. We'll have a plan. Watch the Skies. Okay, I definitely have a bonus point for notable song. Forever Young. Yes, sir. Give me that one. Other than that, hidden gem, no. Emotional impact, no. Driver day, nope. Okay, so we're good there. That's going to make it a 5 overall because it finished in 8th place. So 5 plus that 18 is going to give it 23. And then we're going to end it with good old Apple TV. Actually, we can put this right here. It's going to work out beautifully. Apple TV, all of you, no bonus points, nothing for this one. I'm gonna go emotional impact on this one. I think there is a little emotional impact on that one. So we'll add an extra point to its score, giving it a 7 overall. So 7 plus the first week, which was a 25. So give it 32. Let's reorganize this all up here on the screen so that we can see it now. I'll scroll this down so we can see where we're at. So in first place, what we're gonna have is Hulu. All right, in second place is going to be that 32 from Apple TV. In third place, you guys can watch how bad I am at maneuvering in spreadsheets. Then we go that 28 from Disney right here. That is everything else in order. We can just delete this row. Boom, everything else in order, 42, 32. Okay, so let's go over the rankings for the week and kind of look at like how I'm going to break down these movies for the next couple of weeks. In last place, kind of unfortunately, because what's been interesting about Paramount is like Finest Kind was really good. They've had a few movies on their streaming service that are really good. The Sonic movies are great. They just haven't put anything out recently that's good. Like Naked Gun's a big recent movie. It just wasn't good. And then they again funnel a lot of stuff to Showtime, which sucks. And I don't feel like adding $5 onto the cost of Paramount per month is worth it for Showtime. Maybe it is to make us more worthwhile. And honestly, like Paramount's kind of killing the spreadsheet overall. So Paramount in last place, they'll get essentially 2 weeks to figure out something to watch. And that's the advantage. Remember, the advantage is, so right now, Hulu's got to turn around and watch something immediately, and that is a huge detriment to Hulu right now, because I don't think there's anything decent on Hulu right now that I haven't watched. So that's where Hulu is right now, 42 points. But let's talk about it. That's where Paramount is. Quick water break. All right, so you got Paramount bringing up the rear. Then surprisingly, HBO. I'm not worried about HBO. HBO gets a ton of movies. This is going to be a company where we're going to absolutely have a lot of big movies coming out. And I honestly haven't even checked it recently because I knew it was into weapons. So HBO is going to be fine. Stars hanging in there. Now look, if you watch F1, you know that not every team is trying to essentially win the championship. Only a couple teams really have the ability to win a championship each year based on like how much money they have. Stars is not trying to win the streaming wars. They're just not. Stars would be happy being in this 5 through 8 place. I think 5 through 7, like you're getting some value out of it. Right now it's crushing Paramount. Then we have Peacock. Peacock is a sleeping giant. I think Peacock can win this thing. We just had a really bad first week. So 23 is great. Prime 23. This is going to be, I mean, everybody has Prime essentially, so you have access to this. They get a lot of new movies on, a lot of foreign movies, but they'll have like essentially a week till something has to come out. Disney's going to be one that struggles because they're not always putting out Fantastic Fours. They're not always putting out Marvel movies, and because of that, they rely on some of their back catalog. And if I have to go back to watch something like Lilo and Stitch is probably going to be the thing I watch. They're going to get penalized for their freshness multiplier. Got to get some new movies going out in Disney. And then finally, we're going to end up with Netflix in that third spot. I'm almost certain that's going to be Frankenstein. I've been excited to see that one, and it's perfect for Netflix. Apple TV. I don't know what to do Apple TV. Probably highest to lowest, which came out in September. Like, I know Apple TV has phenomenal movies, or phenomenal TV shows, but like the movies, we need more movies. And then finally, Hulu crushing it, largely based off the fact that like Sovereign was so good, and The Hand That Rocks the Cradle was like just so solid. So that's where we are. So I'm gonna note the starting spot for each of these movies, so that I know like where it picks. And again, basically the policies, I got to watch a movie every 2 days, every 2.5 days to get through all of the movies every 2 weeks. And then just kind of walk you through the rest of this. We have our watch day right here. The movie, that's the day I watch the movie. It's like whose will get watched tonight or tomorrow. A release date, the movie that the time the movie came out on the streaming services, it's basically got to be 2025. I'm not watching anything older than that. Days old, and that factors in the freshness multiplier, movie spreadsheet score, its place for the week, and then bonus points, and then overall weekly points that get added to the previous week's scores. Boom. That's where we are. Now, let's talk about Sunday Live. That's it. All right, so I'm pumped. This is where we are. I'll update the graphic right above me that shows the streaming cup. I don't know, cars. And I'll make a short for it that'll go out tomorrow. And then you'll have shorts after every single movie. Fridays, I release what to watch. So the what to watch is if you're looking for something, you're not sure if it's going to be for you. Maybe you watch something else. I've got recommendations for you. So for instance, if you're like, I really want to watch a horror movie, and I was thinking Vicious looked good. Don't watch Vicious. Watch Significant Other instead. Same streaming service, better movie. So I do things like that. And then Sunday, we go live. That's it for the Movie Spreadsheet Live. Thanks for tuning in. I'm hoping one day I get my first comment. I would love to have somebody in the chat commenting, asking questions about movies, talking about what they watch. Like, I would love this to be a bigger community. But thanks for watching. I'm pumped that you were able to see this, and I will catch you in some other videos later.